looking for a song about the 12 disciplines. The 12 commandments. Because you know the people love singing a lot. So before I start this, I want to know if I have sound. I'm gonna have sound. I see someone is watching. Do I have sound? You can comment if I have sound so that I can start or do a thumbs something so that I know I'm live. And then I start and I can finish and I can talk about Simon, you know, Simon of Canaan, and then Judas. And we can finish that series of the 12 disciplines or the 12 disciples of individuality, of your own Jesus, of your own solar plexus. So do I have sound? Do I have sound? Do I have sound? I don't. I am the sound, so I just make the video regardless. Anyway, so now, you know that when you're starting with the 12 disciples now, and you're starting from the first disciple all the way to the 12th, okay? These are your disciplines. These are your disciples. And so these are your disciplines. So you're supposed to call on your disciple, your discipline, and master it. AKA, when you become awakened, you become so spiritually awakened that you can have discernment, all the way to discernment of all this before you get to the Decius, to be thankful and always walking with a thankful mouth. And then now you're going to Simon of Canaan. So Simon of Canaan is what you call Orikane Canaan. Canaan is the land of milk and happy. Milk and honey. Jane Wax Kawanji. Shout out to Jane Wax Kawanji. So the land of milk and honey is what you call Canaan. So Simon of Canaan. So Simon of the land of milk and honey. Now, if you have been paying attention when you have been going through the disciples, the disciplines of yourself, then you know that all through the disciples, by the time you get to Simon, we are already from Thaddeus, whatever, Thaddeus, being thankful, walking with a thankful mouth. That means by now, we are being thankful because we are already in the land of milk and honey. So now that we are in Canaan, now Simon of Canaan, now when we are Canaan, now when you become the Simon of the land of milk and honey, because you're always thankful after going through Thaddeus, okay, the 10th disciple, okay, so because you have been going through them, you know all of them and how we got here, okay. Now there's a psalm of David. In the psalm of David, there's a song. He says, thou hast prepared a place for me in the presence of my enemies, okay. You have anointed my head with oil, and my cup runneth over. That's a psalm of David. So that psalm of David summarizes Simon of Canaan, Simon of the land of milk and honey. So what is that? So Simon is hearing good news. Now after being thankful, after eating and everything, all he hears is the good news. So when you call onto the Simon part, that virtue, that disciple, you are calling onto the virtue of hearing good news. Okay? So now, since he is aware of the consciousness of the abundance of life, you have gone through the 12. So now you're in the abundance of life. Now you are with Simon of Canaan. Now it's Simon of the land of the milk and honey. Okay? So since now he's there, he's the living proof on the consciousness of everything in life. The abundance in life is pouring on him. So for him, all he does is hear the good news. Here is the good news. So now all that here is the good news. So now he takes the good news, goes out to spread the good spell. So the gospel is the good spell, a spell. You can cast a spell. You can do whatever you want to the spell. So the gospel, the good news from Simon of Canaan. So Simon is the good news. He is the bearer of the good news. And the good news, so he's allowed to go and spread the good spell, the gospel. Now, let's go to Judas. Now you have Judas. So now, when you are awake, you know that sometimes you have to commit suicide. Now you're like Judas. So what is the Judas spirit? The Judas spirit is detaching, because that which you detach from becomes dead to you. You no longer give it life. So detachment is what you need to do to be that which you are. Okay? Do you get it? So now this is the mystics now. This is deep, mystical, hidden thing. Okay? You must die to that which you are before you can become that which you desire. That's Judas now. That's death, detachment, willing to commit suicide. So, since you are reading the Bible as a history book, Judas committed suicide in the physical. It's a virtue of detachment. You can detach from something. You can detach from abuse. You can be detached from families that have been treating you like shit. You can be detached from toxic friends. You can detach from the world, a desire that was leading you astray. So that detachment becomes death. So that detachment is your Judas. That detachment is you committing suicide. AKA, you are willing to die that which you are. I was an alcoholic. I was someone who was abusing people. I was the scum of the world. So you are willing to let that die so that you can become that which you desire. A better you, a better soul group, a more awakened being, a more awakened male or female. You are now into new spaces. You're expanding your mind. That is now the whole Judah thing. That is the mystic way of the initiated, and that is what they have been replicating in the world. When Epstein commits suicide in the cells, it's that the 33-degree initiation ritual, whereby you are willing to be initiated. And so what they do, they fake a suicide, and since whatever energy goes, attention goes, and they have called it a suicide, by default you give that thing the energy of a suicide. Now he ascends as a 33-degree Mason into his next chamber. But they're all going into lostness, since whatever they are doing, we can see easily. So they are the weakest, the Masons, all these people practicing witchcraft, they are practicing weak magic. It's nothing. It's not even anything to be proud of. It's weak magic. It's nothing. It's so easy. Like, it doesn't even make sense. But since that it was have been given so much energy in the world, that's why it still contains so much energy, because there's words that still have energy. That is why if you go to a market and all you go and say, blah, 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 no one will pay attention. But you go to a market and you say Jesus, people will turn. At least 1 or 2 people may even come and put 20 shillings in your cup. While someone can be there singing the whole day, but whatever he's singing has no energy. So we give words and things and titles energy by giving them attention, but that energy is gone for me. There's no energy there. I don't give life to death. I give life to life. Now, since now you know tumetoka Simon, tumekuja kwa Judas, tulitoka huko juu, the 12 disciples. Now, you can know that you are the consciousness itself. Okay? You have the strength to let go as Judas. You have the strength to let denominations go. You have strength to let go of religions. You have strength to let go of governments. Because now you are strong as Judas. Detachment, to be awake, to become that which you are. You have to let that which you know die, so that you can become that which you desire. So that was the whole 12 disciples broken down in segments. Uh, yeah, that's it. That's the whole 12 disciples or disciplines that you're supposed to master with your Jesus, your solar plexus, your Dhammadhya, whatever you want to call it. And then you master all those 12 disciples or disciplines and you use them for what they are, not as a history book, not as people who are walking in this world in the flesh, but as virtues and principles and disciplines that your mind comes up with. But for you to experience them, you have to be in the flesh, the depth of that mentality, the mind, the three worlds. First world, the 1, 2, 3, okay? The lowest you can be from a 3-dimensional to a 2-dimensional to a 1-dimensional, okay? 4, 5, 6, the mind, okay? Where the magic is happening now, where the thought and feeling is. Thought, number 4, thought. 5, feelings. 6, androgynous, okay? So that is the second world before you go to the God world now, the 7, 8, 9, where it happens, which you're trying to create, but we are not there yet. So you're stuck in the 3D, but our thoughts, most of us, we're on the 6D. Do you get it? Do you get how you can be the same world, you're in the same world with the same people, but you're on different worlds? Some people are too egotistical, meaning they are too one-dimensional. They only think things their own way. No one can come unto the Father unless through them. They're always righteous. Some people are 2-dimensional. They can't relate. You can't relate to them. Okay? They are not diplomatic. Okay? So they become, what do we call it? Negative and all that. Then we have the 3D. Anything that you are around and aware of, your whole monad, your 360. Then you go to the 4th dimension, the mind, the thought. Then you go to the 5th dimension, the feeling about that thought. Then you go to the 6th dimension, spending time on the thought and feeling that you have created on the 4th, 5th, and 6th dimension, aka on your mind. Before you go to 7, becoming the judge of that which you have created. Okay? After spending time on the 6th, now you're becoming the judge, number 7. Okay, number 8, spending time in that judgment to see what you have created. And now you jump to number 9, which is wisdom. Okay, Damoyuru. Now you can see your creation, what you have been creating. So what have you been creating? Have you been creating bullshit? I'm saying if you now that's now how you know that you're talking the language of the spirit now. That's real spiritual talk from the realest, most deepest, esoteric waters on how to have discernment in this world, how to understand how life goes or how life works before you find the Bibles, the titles, the religions, and their 5 pillars. Now you have a good starting point. Now everything they throw at you, you're like, wait a minute, I know what this is. Because everything is like it, but it's not it. This is a representation of it. AKA, for you to move from point 1 to B, walking can be a representation. You can have a diagram of someone walking. Cycling can be a representation. You can have a diagram of someone cycling. Running can be a representation. A car can be a representation. A flight can be a representation. A balloon can be a representation of the same thing. So it's not about the imagery. It's not what you do. It's how you do it. So how you do it is very demonic. It's very losing the people. It's very distracting the people so that they keep working for you while you keep reaping the benefits instead of teaching them the book, the good news, okay, and giving it to them as the good spell that it is so that they can cast their own spell. But since you only want to cast your own God spell, good spell on yourself, so you keep people separated, or you keep casting the spells, practically the 12 virtues, the 12 disciples, the 12 disciplines, like you're supposed to be teaching it to your children in your lodges, in your homes, while the African man is running after a book, thinking it's a historical book. And that's how they got you with the gospel. They practice the real magic behind it. They practice the occult. They teach their children, or they remind their children that this is an occult book and this is how you decode it. But for you, it's praise and worship. And we said it's not supposed to be praise and worship. It's supposed to be praise and thanksgiving. So now you become worshippers of idols. You become weak, always worshipping something external outside of you, forgetting that you are the power, forgetting that you are part of God, because the book tells you that he who is inside you is even greater than you. How comes you don't even practice what you teach? If the book is telling you you're mighty and powerful, how come you still have to step out of your house to go to another man to do something for you? You are practicing witchcraft on yourself. Do have a beautiful Thursday. I do this out of love. You know what I'm saying? So you get the keys. I am handing you the keys to the bottomless pit. I'm handing you the keys, the Solomon keys. You do open your own portals and learn more. Okay? All I can do is point you to the right doors. The choice to go is on you. You decide if you want to go. Decide which doors to unlock, which doors to leave locked, which keys not to open, which locks not to unturn. Sometimes some things need to be locked in the bottomless pit. So you decide which virtue and principle do you have that you want to lock in the abyss, in the bottomless pit, because you have the keys to lock it there. You have the keys to change your mind, detach from that. No more abuse. No more feeling victimized. No more feeling like I'm a beggar. No more this. Do you have the faith enough? Do you have enough faith, belief, and imagination to change your life? Because it rests on you. No one is coming to help you. No Jesus is coming. No Muhammad is coming. I am not coming to help you. No one is coming to save you. You have to save yourself. All I can do is give you the footprints in the sand. Footprints in the sand. I'll be like, hey, look, there's a different set of footprints in the sand. And this is what it means. So you have discernment. Because even that one is still not it. Even the one I'm telling you is still not it. It may be looking like it, but it's still not it. You have to come up with yours. But at least now, there's two brains here. There's their brain, and now there's my brain now. So to the subconscious community, you have two different brains now in this world. So you can also become the third brain. You can decide also to pick and come up with your own interpretations of everything like it's supposed to be. Do have a beautiful day practicing the Judas spell. Practice the good spell. Go out there and practice the good spell, aka the God spell, the good spread, of hearing good news from Jegamudaka, that is the Simon of Canaan, someone of, the land of milk and honey. But now, since you're only hearing good news after practicing your virtue, now you can go out there and spread the good spell, aka share the video. So now, when you become Judas, awake, you can detach, okay, suicide from that, so that you can become that which you want as your desire, aka you must die to give death to that which you are, so that you become that which you desire. That is Judas. So sometimes you need some little Judas juice inside yourself. Sometimes you need some Judas juice. Sometimes you need to tell on a friend, your friend is, your friend is a child molester. Fuck that spirit. Judas, that motherfucker. I'm saying call the cops on that. We do not harm children. We don't touch children. Don't touch children. So sometimes you have to be just Judas. Pick that call. Tell the chivo. Tell the chivo. Hey, chivo, we have a child molester in our belonging. Yeah, let them call you a Judas. No, detach. Kill that motherfucker. Kuri dayo. Ayo jaga mudaka. We'll catch up later.